is Braves Vision.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Truist from the banks of the Miccosukee Canal in Miami, Florida. It's Game 3, Braves and Marlins from Lone Depot Park on a wonderful Wednesday night. And we welcome you into the broadcast booth alongside CJ Nikowski. I'm Wiley Ballard. The Braves pulled out a dramatic win last night, picking some momentum. And CJ, we all know momentum is only as good as your next starting pitcher.
Good news for the Braves. Their next night's starting pitcher is Chris Sale, and he has been dominant all season long. Really, ever since he put on this Braves uniform, we have seen the really good version of Chris Sale. He is healthy. The velocity has looked really good. Of course, we know it is always about that slider. The best in baseball for Chris Sale. That has continued, so we look forward to watching him tonight. But not just the slider. Take a look at this ERA for Chris Sale right now, sub-2. That is 4th best among all National League starters. He's got us thinking about another Cy Young Award here in 2026.
Well, he's looking for his first win against the Marlins in his career, and CJ, he is on the right team because the Braves have dominated Miami for over a decade now.
It feels like tonight should be the night for that to happen for Chris Sale. You're right. The Braves have absolutely crushed the Miami Marlins over the course of the last 60 games. 41-19. That's an absurd number. How about the home runs, the run differential? You sit there and look at all of it, and 17 come-from-behind wins for these Atlanta Braves against the Marlins. Let's not hope you got to come from behind tonight. Just win the game straight out.
That sounds like a plan. Now, the Braves at the plate, they've had the right plan recently. 8 runs last night. Nick Green catches up with Braves hitting coach Tim Hires, talks the return of Ronald Acuna Jr. and one of the best offenses in all of baseball. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Rooms to Go. Don't miss the Memorial Day sale going on now. By Xfinity, reliable Wi-Fi at one price. Xfinity, imagine that. And by Chevrolet, proud partner of the Atlanta Braves.
We're getting you guys ready for Game 3. This 4-game set out at Lone Depot Park in Miami. I'm joined by Tim Hires, Braves hitting coach. Tim, this is game number 50 of the season. How would you evaluate this team offensively for the first 49? A lot of offensive categories you guys are in the top 3 in. What do you think of the first 49 games?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really proud of the guys. I think it's a credit to how hard they worked this offseason. Spring training was great. They kind of rolled into the season. I think that just shows how deep the lineup is. We got some impact, we got some speed, and 1 through 9 can really get on base and make something happen. So we're getting challenged here lately. We're losing Baldwin and a few of the guys, but getting Acuna back is really going to help us. But so far, I've been proud of the guys. I think our pitch selection's been better. Really at the beginning, we got to tighten it up here. In the last couple of weeks, we kind of got away from it, but we've also seen some really good pitching. And pitching's going to dictate, this game, every facet of it. So we've, I think, been really proud of them, and it's a very deep lineup.
So speaking of Ronald, we saw him last night, made a big impact on the game. How important is he to this lineup, and what did you think about the day yesterday?
Yes, Ronald is Ronald. He at the time he's in the lineup, he steps in that batter's box. He's a game changer. He impacts the game in so many different ways. And even last night, or yesterday, he impacted the game with beating the shortstop at second base and making keep the inning alive with his speed. So, but he can change the scoreboard or the score in one swing of the bat. He puts pressure on the pitchers. They have to make quality pitches to get him out, and so he's a big asset to us, and we're glad to see him back.
Another big asset, Michael Harris. Got off to a slow start last year, we know that. This year has been much better. What's been the key for him this year?
I think he put in a lot of work this offseason. He's kind of found his swing. He just kind of went through one of those struggles, one of those down years, and learned a lot about himself. I think he's on the other side of that, and I think he's kind of found his mechanical move and where he wants to be. And now he just keeps refining that game plan, getting pitches he can hit. And we all know he gets pitches over the plate, and he's incredible strength. He's another guy that impacts the game, and when he's swinging at good pitches, good things are going to happen.
Well, Tim, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Good luck tonight is Game 3 of 4 down in Miami. First pitch is coming up next. It's Braves Marlins.
All-Star Experience.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Ford dealer, by Delta Airlines, keep climbing, and by the Georgia Lottery. Hurry and play cash for today to instantly win an extra $444 now through June 30th, only from the Georgia Lottery. Game number 50 tonight of the 2026 season, Braves and Marlins. Third game of this four-game set between these two National League East rivals. Let's take a look at the Braves starting lineup, brought to you by Racetrack. And Michael Harris slotted in the two-hole for the first time since back in August of 2024. And Matt Olson, big 3 RBI day in the 3-hole. Again, the Braves still shuffling things around with Drake Baldwin going on the injured list yesterday. On the mound for Miami, it'll be the 30-year-old righty Jansen Junk. And CJ, what can you tell us about the righty?
So this will be his 10th start of the year. You can see there his first 7. They went pretty well. The last 2, not so much. It is a deep repertoire. He is another one of these Marlins pitchers that doesn't use his fastball very much, and he has really struggled against lefties. I think that's why Michael is batting in the 2-hole. It's why for the Braves tonight that essentially 6 of their batters will be batting left-handed against Jansen Junk.
Ronald Acuna Jr. leading off, but first, CJ's Ford Keys.
Yeah, how about a little Kings of Leon, as in Sandy Leon? It's his show now. He is the lead catcher with a couple of guys down, and you got to check a box here tonight for Chris Sale. How about that first win here in this ballpark? 6 ballparks that he has not recorded a win. This is one.
And Ronald comes up empty on the fastball from Junk. 83 degrees, 70% humidity outside. Inside, a perfect 72.
You say a perfect 72. 68 for me is perfect.
That is insane.
Yeah. Like where are you?
68?
What is your thermostat set at in your room?
When I'm awake or when I'm asleep? It's different.
When you're going to bed.
Well, 68.
Yeah, let's go. That's perfect.
But I'm not trying to go to sleep right now. I'm trying to go to work.
But that's the chill temperature right there. 68.
My teeth are going to be chattering if it's 68 here.
So you actually pump it up a couple of degrees once you wake up?
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Really?
Ronald 1 for 4 yesterday with a couple of walks mixed in as well in right field tonight. First action in the field since coming off the injured list. And he drives the 1-2 high in the air to left. Hernandez coming in quickly. Might have misjudged it. But he records the first out. Take a look at the Marlins defense, brought to you by Car Shield. Javier Sanoja getting the start in right field after the day off yesterday. And then around the horn, Liam Hicks behind the plate. His first start at catcher in this series. And now Michael Harris. Michael game-tying home run yesterday. And it was a low laser straight away center field.
So the other thing I mentioned here where you get with Junk as far as his struggles against lefties is that there's not a lot of swing and miss. Season high 6 strikeouts so far this season. In his first 9 starts, it's only an 18% strikeout rate. That is below league average. Good walk rate. There should be a lot of balls put in play by these Braves hitters.
Gets ahead of Michael 1-2, and you look at the ground ball rate, as you expect, it's pretty high, over 50%. But CJ, his last 2 starts have been rough. He's given up 10 extra base hits. ERA close to 9.
Yeah, 3 homers in there. He had the Nationals and the Rays. Of course, we know the Washington Nationals can flat out swing it. The Tampa Bay Rays have been on a really good run. They're playing great baseball in first place right now. They won again today. Somebody else getting their espresso in over there.
I feel like everyone should...
the pitching coach.
And Michael Hicks makes the play as Michael taps that one in front of the plate. I feel like everybody should be well rested. We played at 4 o'clock yesterday, CJ.
Yep, everybody got to bed, got a good, decent dinner. Should have been a full night's sleep and ready to go. But it's Miami. Every day is espresso day in Miami.
And now Matt Olson, 3 RBI yesterday. Run his season total to 41. That is just 1 off the major league lead. And the guy with that lead crouching behind the plate right now, Liam Hicks, he's got 42, and so does Andy Pages of the Dodgers.
Pages, number 42 RBI for him, was a big one last night against the San Diego Padres. 9th inning against Mason Miller. He had a lengthy at-bat, was fouling off 101, 102, and then eventually hit a sacrifice fly to give the Dodgers the lead and ultimately the win.
Matt Olson hits one hard. What a snag by Norby. And he'll take it to the bag, finishing the top of the first with a flash. Chris Sale making his 10th start of the season, the 37-year-old ace. CJ, he's pitching more like he's 27, the way things have gone here in the first month and a half.
So he's been excellent, and the batting average against really does stick out at 183 so far here for Chris Sale. He is still generating so much swing and miss with a 29% strikeout rate, and he does it with a very simple mix of slider, four-seamer, two-seamer, and changeup. But we know it's pretty much mostly that four-seamer and his slider.
And Xavier Edwards, who's been a problem so far for the Braves in this series. He's homered twice. And Isaiah Albies out there looking at second base umpire Alfonso Marquez. I'm not sure what that was. Either way, Sale's ready to go. And misses high on Edwards. Look at the Marlins starting lineup laid out by Clayton McCullough, brought to you by Racetrack. A lot of righties. Only one true lefty. That's Liam Hicks down at the 8th hole.
We talk about it a lot, right? And the idea of teams trying to do that to Chris Sale. He's dominated the righties. Just a 169 batting average against so far. And it is early, but historically that would be one of the best from a left-handed pitcher against right-handed hitters that we have seen in a single season. Now, I do wonder if that means maybe some more changeups today, right? You look at kind of how Chris Sale has treated both the lefties and the righties, and not surprising, much more changeup usage against right-handed hitters, 16% for Chris Sale this year.
And he's making his 7th straight start on 5 days rest, not the quote-unquote traditional 4. Feels like that has helped him since April 12th. He's got the best ERA in baseball and averaging close to 6.5 innings per start. Looped into left, falling quickly and in front of Mike Yastrzemski. And Xavier Edwards picks up the leadoff single. Take a look at the rest of the Braves defense, brought to you by Car Shield. Ronald Acuna Jr. in right field for the first time since coming off the injured list. And how about Mauricio Dubon making his first start at short in 3 weeks, giving Ha-Seong Kim a day off.
It's been a while since we have seen Mauricio over at short, but we know what a great job he did filling in early on for Ha-Seong Kim. And we'll also see now that, so far the Marlins, despite the fact that they came into this series with such a great stolen base rate, most stolen bases in baseball, but it hasn't been as aggressive. But that might change today. We'll see.
They've got 2 so far in this series. Didn't steal any on Monday night. Of course, Miami winning that one going away 12-0. But the 2 yesterday were on 1 pitch. It was a double steal
It's a tough one for a catcher.
Yeah.
You get dinged with 2 when clearly you had to pick which one you were going to go for.
Ball and 2 strikes on Otto Lopez, Major League Baseball's leader in hits, leader in batting average. Braves held him down on Monday night. He went 0 for 4, but yesterday picked up 3 infield hits. Edwards started and stopped, and Leon a back pick. We were talking about it before the game, CJ, but Chris Sale doesn't necessarily use that A move all that often. Tends to focus pretty much exclusively on the hitter.
Yeah, trying to be quick to the plate, giving your catcher a chance.
And the 2-2 is slashed into center field for a base hit. Edwards is going to try for third. Harris overthrows Ozzie at second. And the Marlins have the runners on the corners.
Well, this is against the Chris Sale slider. Take a look at location. Not bad. It's down. He probably wants it maybe more inner third based on where Sandy was set up. But this is more about Edwards kind of going down and getting it. Watch him with this kind of shorter level swing and looking for contact in that 2-strike count.
And now it's Heriberto Hernandez. A chance to give Miami the early lead. Sales let up just 1 run in the first season all year, or the first inning all year.
So you got the infield back, understandably so, the first inning. So for Chris Sale, what he'd love to have here is find a way to get that strikeout and then give yourself a chance to maybe get the ground ball. Not a big one for him. Ground ball, double plays is not something that necessarily he racks a bunch up. We had talked about it earlier. He had, 2? I think it was in that first game of the year. I think he had 2 all of last season.
Ahead on Hernandez. All right, he's got him set up.
So 4 so far this season, Chris Sale. So he doubled his total from a year ago. But to your point, he's got him set up right now for the strikeout. Excuse me. You can go outside the zone, try to work a little bit of chase right now. We go slider, pitch 1, fastball, pitch 2. You can elevate with that fastball, change up out of the zone. But I feel like when Chris Sale gets in these counts, more often than not, it's going to be the fastball or the slider.
0-2. Line drive smashed into center. Harris is there. Edwards will tag, and that'll be a sacrifice fly from Hernandez in Miami. Strikes first.
Well, elevating the fastball was the idea. This one ended up a little bit too much in the zone for Chris Sale as he's kind of sharing some information there with Ruiz. They wanted to go up above the zone, try to get swing and miss, but instead this one you could see the reaction from Chris Sale. He knew it too. That contact is not what he wants in an 0-2 count.
So Hernandez gets the job done, and now here's Connor Norby. First pitch swinging right to Ozzie, to Dubon. Little hesitation, Olsen stretches, and he can't reel it in.
Not used to seeing this from Mauricio Dubon again. He hasn't been in short for a while, but he is used to moving around. This should have been tailor-made. He was there, and that throw ended up just being offline and in the dirt. And Matt Olson, we know, was just incredible over there. Looked like maybe there's a little bit of a double clutch from Mauricio Dubon when he went to throw that baseball.
Feels like both Dubon and Olsen usually make those plays. And Ruiz overpowered by the heater at 95, 0-1.
So now what you hope, of course, is that it doesn't cost Chris Sale too many pitches, right? Everyone from this pitch forward will be one extra one he had to throw in this inning because of that failed double play.
0-2. Lance Barrett behind the plate.
It's kind of been middle of the road this year. A little bit more aggressive top to bottom for left-handed hitters, in and out to your right-handed hitters. 28 overturns in his 10 games behind the plate this season.
Hard to believe Chris Sale making his second start as a Brave against the Marlins. His first was his third start of his first year in Atlanta, and hadn't faced him since here or back in Atlanta. And there goes Norby. The pitch is up and away, and it's going to be a stolen base for Connor Norby.
Sandy looked like he had a little bit of an issue on grip here as he took the baseball out of his glove. There was some hesitation, as you're going to see Norby sliding in, and really not much of a challenge, but it wasn't that he had such a great jump. Watch Sandy right here. Kind of grabbed the changeup. The fact that it wasn't close, but he still got a good throw off after all that is pretty impressive.
Esteury Ruiz had a big sacrifice fly in a tight spot earlier this series.
So what do you got on the nickname? It's only 1-0, so it's Pokey, not Pookie on the armband.
Yeah, I think he tries to poke it over the right side.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, I got nothing else for you there, though.
If it's 1-0, no E, it's got to be Pokey, right? Can't be Pookie.
No, no shot. Is there a character in Gumby named Pokey? What was the name of a horse in Gumby? Pokey.
With it 1-0? Just
Pokey. When's the last time there was a Gumby reference? 3-2 is pulled foul in the air.
So I made the mistake when I was pitching in Detroit. Back then when you had the lefty specialist, you'd pitch a lot of games, you get up a lot. A reporter asked me one day about, hey man, you've been up whatever, 7, 8, 9 days in a row. How you feeling? I said, it's fine. I said, but I'm not Gumby. And I should not have said that because that was like 25 years ago and I still hear about it.
So I'm going on 50 years.
Yeah.
All right, good for me. And Ruiz beaten by the heater. But Miami grabs the lead.
Time now for our Toyota Trends feature of the game. Taking a look at the Braves offense against starting pitchers. Well, they have been the best in the National League with that .261 batting average, 154 runs scored. And look at the Marlins and their starting pitchers over the last 16 games, Wiley. They have not been good. So the trend tells us the Braves are going to score a lot of runs tonight against Jansen Junk.
And that number includes the 6 scoreless innings Max Meyer threw on Monday. And Junk has a lot to do with that high ERA. Last couple have not been good. And we talked about that against the Nats and the Rays, but how about the two before that, CJ? First, we'll see if Liam Hicks saw something.
As he puts arm around, good try. Oh.
The call is overturned. Miami has 2 challenges remaining.
I think Liam Hicks saying, it was a good try, wasn't it? 0-2.
He's slightly below average this year. 55% has been his rate. 22 for 40 coming into today. 60% is kind of where the catchers have been.
But those 2 starts prior to those poor outings, CJ, against the Dodgers and the Phillies. Jansen Junk, 11 1/3. Gave up just 1 run to those 2 teams. He went 6 shutty at Dodger Stadium against Ohtani.
He's had to go head-to-head with some pretty good starters as well here recently. Obviously, Chris Sale now tonight. Changeup, though, even though he's a lower swing and miss guy, the changeup is his best whiff pitch.
And Ozzie Albies yanks this one into right field for a base hit. And the Braves' first base runner of the night.
You can see it there, 103 off the bat against the Jansen Junk slider here for Ozzie Albies. That one just kind of sat middle, almost looked like it backed up somewhat. Good looking swing from the side there for Ozzie Albies.
Too tall for Xavier Edwards. And now Dom Smith. First pitch swinging. He scoops it in the air to left. Hernandez has got it. You mentioned Jansen Junk going head-to-head against some pretty good names, or big names. How about his college teammate Tarek Scoop? Both going to the University of Seattle. And Junk was actually drafted ahead of Scooble.
Well, yeah, because 9th rounder, right, for Scooble?
29th rounder.
Wait. Oh, out of high school?
College.
Wait, I thought Scooble was a 9th
Hold
rounder.
on. Did I misread that?
9th rounder out of Seattle University, wasn't he?
Oh, 29th out of high school. That's what it was.
Sorry.
No, you're good. 29th out of high school, 9th. Well, regardless.
All right, I don't want to do this to you, but I'm going to. He was 29th out of Seattle University the first time.
Okay.
Didn't sign. And then he went 9th round out of Seattle. So he was drafted twice out of college.
So
I would tell you, I'll be honest with you, I didn't realize he got drafted twice out of college. I've always been stuck on 9th round Seattle University and turning into one of the best pitchers in the game, which by itself is a great story. But I did not realize that he had turned down the Diamondbacks the year before after getting drafted in the 29th round.
And Dubon pulls one to the left side for a base hit. And the Braves got a couple men aboard here with one out.
Here's the thing, Wiley. We had it surrounded. We had mostly facts lined up. Between the two of us, we kind of sort of got there. More importantly, Mauricio Dubon stays on this sweeper right on right. Gets himself a nice base hit to left field.
Well, that makes me feel a little better because I was reading the release from the 2017 draft, and it's Jansen Junk ahead of Scooble.
Go.
As Riley gives this one a ride, deep center, Ruiz is out of room. Austin Riley, a 2-run homer to dead center, and the Braves are in front.
And listen to this crowd. There are quite a few Braves fans here and right behind their dugout. And how cool for Austin Riley. Again, you know you're not going to get a lot of fastballs against Jansen Junk. It's not just a name. It is a way of life and the way that he treats these opposing hitters. And so don't wait around.
3-run homer for Austin Riley. Gives Austin 8 on the year.
He's gotten a lot more comfortable. He's taken a lot better swings against right-handed hitters here as of late as Austin Riley.
Talked about the May resurgence. Austin's first hit of the series, of course, had that big one against Boston to put that game out of reach early on Sunday. And for Jansen Junk, the extra base hit troubles continue.
Yeah, that slugging is real. Good to see, though, a right-handed hitter doing it because as much as he has struggled against lefties, and he's done a really nice job against righties. Very low numbers. They haven't slugged against him nearly as much.
Back to 3-2.
This is where facing a guy like this can be a challenge, even though, again, he struggled against lefties. Goes fastball, changeup to fall behind in the count. Now it's 2 fastballs, but he generally doesn't like to use it. You almost feel like, is he going to throw an off speed here?
And Mike Yastrzemski drives one to right. Backpedaling Sanoha on the track, and he runs it down. Well, let's take a look back at Austin Riley's 3-run shot.
So it's a first pitch sweeper, and not a great one. As you see it staying there kind of inner third, and that's not as easy to do, right? You can open up the hips, you can cheat a little bit, you can pull that ball. But to take that pitch in particular out to dead center field, pretty impressive from Austin Riley. And nearly 4 Yaz, he got a changeup. Talking about the different speed pitches and how this guy pitches. 3-0, 3-1 fastball, and then you get a 3-2 change, and Yaz just missed that one.
There aren't many fans here tonight, CJ, but the Braves fans who are passionate.
It's loud. You can hear it. So you use the standard kind of headset. I put earbuds in, but I leave one ear open, so I can hear the fans quite a bit. So it got loud fast. It's always fun going on the road with Braves country.
That's been the most crowded section all series, right behind the Braves dugout.
As far as yesterday's 4-10 game went, I mean, I don't know, just from our view, a few more fans here tonight. I don't think they necessarily had a significant drop-off. It's not a bad idea to try it. We all liked walking out here at 7:30 last night and get a decent dinner and all that other good stuff. I don't know what they announced the crowd at, but it was about the same as what we're seeing tonight.
Yeah, it was 7,500 yesterday, then 8,600 or so on Monday night.
Chris Sale, Lakeland, Florida, maybe a few more made the drive down.
It's a pretty good sell. Antoine Richardson negotiating that high net, got it over into the concourse.
I see you, dog.
Jansen Junk trying to get out of this inning. And for Junk, he had one of the lowest home run rates in all of baseball last year. Hardly walked anybody, and there was some concern, might there be some regression? His last couple of starts have not gone his way.
The ground ball rate actually better this year, but as you mentioned, the home runs now are picking up. He was 8 a year ago in his 110 innings. It's now 7 through almost 52 innings this year.
St. Leon's fouled off 5 straight. Strike 3 called. Leon caught looking, but Austin Riley gives the Braves the lead with a 3-run shot dead central. You know that's got to feel good for 27.
He's available every single day.
Austin Riley back at third base. Green is back in the dugout well, and he's got our Kia field report.
Yeah, Wiley, we know how good Chris Sale's been in his career. He's been great in Braves uniform as well. A couple years ago won the Cy Young Triple Crown. Last year really good. This year a little bit better. And a lot of that is due to his pitch mix this year. He's been able to use all 4 of his pitches. We saw yesterday at Martin Perez and how important it is to use all of his pitches. So one thing I want to look at today is the usage of the changeup and the sinker. The changeup has been a big factor for Chris Sale this year, especially against right-handers. And I talked to Jeremy Hefner about this earlier today. I was asking him what the big difference is with Chris Sale and how he was able to kind of get that changeup back on track. And he said he's a supinator, so he ends up having to cut the changeup. If he can get that feel of sweeping and swiping through that changeup, then all of a sudden he gets the good movement. If he holds on too long, it buries it in the ground, and it's not as successful.
So when we see kind of the cut change a little bit.
This ball well struck. Deep center. Harris reaches up and makes the catch. Michael does it again.
And you can see Chris Sale fired up as well, and some harder contact than we're used to seeing here early on against Chris Sale from the Marlins. But Michael, as he so often does, saves the day here. He had a good read on this ball, was hit hard, 103, but he timed it up perfect. It's a good point, though, about the changeup, and I think we've seen it at times where Chris Sale, again, could get by fastball slider against most lineups, but.
And Morrell drives this one to left. Yaz is there.
That changeup has become a little bit more of a weapon, but he has a lower arm angle, and therein lies the challenge, right? You get a lower arm angle the way he does, which helps him dominate. It could be a tough spot to throw a changeup from. You have a smaller margin for error, where if it doesn't come out of the hand almost perfect, that's when you see those ones that Nick was talking about, and they end up kind of cutting, dying on him a little bit. But as Nick Green is very well aware, it's a game of adjustments.
It definitely is, CJ. And also, when you look at the 4-pitch mix, you're going to get more chase with the fastball up in the zone too, and he's seen that is a big factor this year as well. I know he's used the sinker a lot more to lefties, but getting a little bit more chase with the fastball, and that's been more successful because of the use of the changeup as well.
That's my second favorite adjustment that we have seen. The first, of course, being Nick Green tucking his shirt in tonight.
Well, you guys know I don't like to tuck my shirt in, but peer pressure got me again.
It works. It's a real tool.
How's it working with those pants, Nick Greeny?
I would have worn less tight pants if I knew I was tucking my shirt in.
Right through the front door on Liam Hicks, 0-2.
Less tight pants.
I can't exactly go home and change, though.
Yeah,
I have what I have.
Why don't you try shorts? Jean shorts are back in. That would look good with that shirt tucked in there.
2 balls and a strike on Hicks. Saw some jeans shorts in the ballpark last night.
Somebody said it the other day. They're coming back.
Florida is the birth of shorts, right?
I believe. I mean,
The birthplace.
seems like something they would be able to claim without much fight.
Let's talk about the pitch mix, the velocity for Chris Sale. The highest it's ever been in his career on his fastball. Again, he does not look like he's 37. Struck him out. Chris Sale unravels Liam Hicks, but it was Michael Harris robbing Leo Jimenez. Going up. He's got it. It's time for our Alpha Insurance Best Coverage. Ronald Acuna Jr. loves facing the Marlins. CJ, these numbers preposterous.
Yeah, pretty incredible to see here and what we've gotten so far from Ronald. 361 on the batting average, slugging, scoring runs, really doing it all. I do have a question, and I don't feel like we see it too often. Are Ronald and Michael wearing the exact same shoes? Like, the color looks really close.
Very close.
I don't even know if they wear the same brand or not.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you know what? We're going to be 1 and 2 tonight. Should we match up?
Down the line. And there is room for Javier Sanoja. Well, that's close.
Really close.
I feel like Michael's look just a little brighter. That's some New Balance.
Do you know what Ronald wears?
He had the Nike,
He's a Nike
arm
guy, okay.
sleeve. Yeah, Nike.
All right, so not quite. A little creamsicle there for Ronald.
Maybe a little Georgia peach.
Probably makes more sense.
Oh, he might like creamsicles.
He shouldn't. They're gross.
I'm not going to argue with it.
Oh, by the way, so remember we had the conversation about the ice cream machine here?
Yes.
And how they had that pretty big sign that said you're only allowed to use the super tiny cups. I saw a dude trying to put ice cream in a coffee cup yesterday, and he got reprimanded by somebody running the food room. It was fantastic. I just sat there and watched the guy have to wear it.
Did he get to keep the ice cream?
It was firm. And you guys like, do I have to throw it away? The guy's like, no, you can keep it, but we just don't want to set a standard or any kind of precedent here. And so you're fine. You got away with it this time. Consider it your warning. Otherwise, you got to go in Marlins jail.
You ever been to Marlins jail?
It's underneath that statue outside.
Michael jammed a little bit, and Lopez collects the second out. I think that's one of those ask for forgiveness and not permission situations.
Right, 100%. Yep. He still got his ice cream. He pretended like he was sorry, and if that guy's anything like me, he was back there again today with the big cup.
So you tell me he wasn't sorry that he did it, he was sorry he got caught.
That's right. It was so great.
So Matt Olson with 2 down. You know, with that double last night, Matt Olson took over sole possession of the Major League lead in extra base hits. He's got 30. That just missed. I know Matt's talked about it a little bit, but it was sort of a similar adjustment for him in the offseason as we talked about Austin Riley trying to avoid that hip sliding a little too far forward too early.
No doubt. And balance in your mechanics for a hitter is so important. We have a tendency to focus on pitchers and dig in more, but it doesn't take much to get off, and sometimes you don't realize it. And that's why it's so nice having the data that they have, the key points that they're looking for. Talked a lot about with Austin Riley and what he's been working on with the front shoulder, and it is a constant where you're looking at bats the next day, all of them. A lot of times you can get kind of the biometrics on it and put where you want to be over where you were to see if they match up the way that you need them to.
I was talking to Austin recently about working with Adam Sonnabend, a member of the Braves front office, and he said he showed him some things. I asked him what it was. It's stick figures.
Yeah, just like you used to draw when you were a kid.
Slightly more detailed, probably.
You couldn't draw, right? There's no way. Do you have that? You have an artistic ability?
There's no way.
Yeah, same.
No.
You can just kind of tell with people.
Yeah, not much of an artist.
No,
really.
I wish I was.
Well, you were an artist on the mound, CJ.
No, that's not true either. By the way, 7 pitches at least now. Number 7 coming up here for Matt Olson.
And that'll be the last one. Jansen Junk bounces back with a 1-2-3 third. Braves still in front.
Let's check out who's got the strong arm, presented by John Foy and Associates. And no surprise here, it is Chris Sale who's got the strong arm. How about his National League rank since he became an Atlanta Brave in 2024? Tied for first in wins, which is kind of amazing knowing he missed a little bit of time. ERA, the strikeouts per 9 are not a surprise. Home runs allowed, he's been terrific all the way across the board. Even that Fangraphs WAR, the old F WAR, at 11.2 there for Chris Sale.
And Javier Sanoja out of the 9th spot leads off the bottom of the 3rd. And for Sale, I mean, the second act of his career, CJ, has really been mesmerizing in that you didn't think it could be any better than he was in his 20s. And I'm not saying he is, but factoring in the age and all the hurdles he's gone through, this might be just as impressive. Sanoja skies this one on the infield. Ozzy's going to take charge, and there's one.
No, you're right. And it is kind of amazing to see what he has done since he has put on this Atlanta Braves uniform, because it was almost like he felt bad for Chris Sale. He had the dominance. He just fell short. And take a look at what he's done this year, right? So this is Chris Sale, ERA through his first 9 starts. You can see the different teams that he has been with. Second best in the last 10 years for him, where he came in at 1.96. Kind of incredible. So to your point, in thinking about where he was in his 20s and some of those prime years, I think it actually is fair to say that he has been pretty close to that. Certainly the ERA right up there.
And quickly 0-2 on Xavier Edwards. I got one for you. Can you name the only qualified pitcher this season older than Chris Sale?
Has this person pitched with regularity? It's not like a trick question where an old position player pitched an inning.
Qualified.
Oh, you said qualified.
Qualified.
Okay. Only qualified pitcher that is older than Chris Sale this year. Verlander's not qualified. Scherzer's not qualified. Scherzer's definitely older. Jacob deGrom?
Nailed it.
Thank you.
Well done.
Process of elimination.
DeGrom will
There's
turn
some
38.
similarities, right?
Oh, yeah.
As far as how dominant they were in their heyday, and then of course, Jacob deGrom went through some pretty significant injuries as well. Chris Sale's got the longer track record.
Lofted into right center. Edwards isn't happy about it. Michael Harris makes the catch.
I think, listen, and Edwards is a good player. But this is Chris Sale, right? So it almost makes you laugh a little bit. And I think for Chris Sale, I'll take him off when he's in the middle of competition. But there's also that part that's like, dude, you're going to get mad that you didn't square up a ball against me. Like, you got a base hit in your first at-bat. You did a nice job against the changeup. You kind of ticked me off when you did it. That's the way Chris Sale operates during the game. So let me see you try to hit my fastball.
So 2 down, bases empty for Otto Lopez. Bouncer deep in the hole. Dubon throwing on the run. And Lopez beats it out. That is another infield hit, his 4th of the series.
Well, this is what speed does, and it's a good effort by Dubon, but you really don't have much of a chance at all. The one-hop throw, like, he did it perfectly. You're just going to run out of time with Lopez. And he knew he had to hurry, right? Quick exchange, get rid of the baseball. Didn't matter.
And now Edberto Hernandez. Sale prepares his 40th pitch. Seven right-handed hitters and 1 switch hitter in this lineup for Miami. Hicks the only lefty.
Feels like this would be a time that they would take a chance here, right? Down to the count. Got a couple of outs here.
And Hernandez wants time. Talked about it last night, but Hernandez, he was their most productive right-handed hitter last year, but has gotten off to a slow start. Sale's 0-2. Struck him out. Chris Sale with his 3rd strikeout of the night, CJ.
He was not happy with that sacrifice fly against the fastball first time around. He was going to make him hit the slider, and he couldn't.
The Braves are celebrating all sports this season with a crossover jersey giveaway series. And just in time for the World Cup to come to Atlanta this summer, the next jersey giveaway is the Braves soccer jersey on June 17th, presented by SeatGeek. We got a couple up in the booth. CJ, don't mess with the camera.
I didn't. I would never do that. So we always
do
show the front. How about the back one time? You can show the front. I'll show the back.
2-6, okay.
Both sides of it. Number 26. Which
For
I guess stands for
2026.
2026. These are cool.
And Ozzie Albies socks one to right. And Sanoja's there. Some good giveaways coming up, though. We got the Drake Baldwin hockey jersey, hockey sweater giveaway at the beginning of next month. And then that soccer jersey, that's June 17th. You can go to Braves.com/promos to get your tickets. What do we thought of Jansen Junk so far?
Not bad. I think everything you kind of expected, right, where he's going to be mixing and matching a little bit. There's been a couple of those breaking pitches that have not reacted the way that he has wanted them to, specifically the Austin Riley home run. But not bad. You kind of see it. You can see when he is right, using the depth of his repertoire, and it's all got to be on.
And 2-0 on Dom Smith. And he was another one that kind of got off the scrap heap, CJ. He was released by the A's, and the Marlins signed him to a minor league deal and got a non-roster invite before last season. As Dom Smith lofts this one to left. And Hernandez has got it. Let's have a quick message from our friends at Delta.
From Braves country to the world. Delta, official airline of the Atlanta Braves.
3-run homer for Austin Riley has given the Braves the lead back in the 2nd inning. Braves have not had a base runner since then. And Dubon takes high. And Mauricio into center field. Ruiz gliding over. He's got it. Another perfect inning for Jansen Junk. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Truist. That guy's fired up. What we got? Is that blooper on the shirt?
That is a Braves country invasion happening here at Lone Depot Park. That was aggressive.
My man saw an opportunity to get on TV. He says, all right, I'm going for it. Connor Norby leads off, taking ball 1. Looked at Connor Norby's walk numbers this year.
I have not.
He's got 18 of them in 44 games. He had 18 all of last year in twice as many games.
And he went after the first pitch, right? I believe in his first at-bat, too. So kind of interesting that the walk rate has increased, but I get it. You get a strikeout pitcher like Chris Sale. We talk about this often. Guys are going to take that aggressive approach and go after the first strike that they see. A lot of good walk rates on this Miami Marlins club. I mentioned Norby, nearly 11%. League average is about 9.5 now. A little bit higher than usual.
And it's believed some of that might be due to ABS.
100%. Well, two things. Early in the season, it's always higher.
Okay.
If you go back and you look at, say, the March, April numbers, year over year, there's times where that number is above 10%. But I think ABS certainly has something to do with it.
And Connor Norby not walking that time as Chris Sale punches him out. That's 4 strikeouts tonight for Sale.
And he does it on the Chris Sale slider. Not surprising. That is always the one we're talking about the most. Back-to-back strikeouts now on sliders here for Chris Sale.
And now Ruiz. Sale's given up just 3 hits tonight, but 2 of the first 2 hitters. And that slider is working right now.
Take a look at our Comcast business numbers here for Chris Sale with Sandy Leon. How about the strikeout to walk ratio? Nearly 8-1. That's phenomenal. Low batting average. Best of any catcher that he has had, that he's been with a minimum of 20 innings. Now, Sandy Leon has caught the second most innings for Chris Sale in his career. Only Tyler Flowers, as he's had more behind the plate. But pretty impressive to see there for Chris Sale and what he and Sandy Leon have done together.
And there goes Ruiz. 5 strikeouts for Sale and 3 straight.
And once again, he does it on that really good slider. 79 miles an hour. One of the more fascinating things about the Chris Sale slider is that is the slowest slider in baseball. But it's still the nastiest slider in baseball. It's kind of incredible. So Jacob Mizorowski was throwing like 96-mile-an-hour sliders yesterday for the Milwaukee Brewers. And here comes Chris Sale with 79. The differential he gets, so ridiculously absurd. But as we were talking about the catchers, this one really blew my mind today looking at Chris Sale. 15 years, I believe it is, in the big leagues now. He's only had 18 different catchers over that time. And that's what happens when you're good and you're consistent and you're on the same team most of the time, right? 3 different teams. You haven't seen a lot of turnover catching-wise. I was like, I feel like I threw to more catchers than that. And I had a very checkered career of parts of 10 seasons. I had 25 different catchers I threw to. So 25 for me and 18 for Chris Sale doesn't make any sense. He's pitched a lot more, a lot longer, and a lot more successfully. Somehow I ended up with, at least to this point, 7 more catchers than he had thrown to.
Well, see, just because you're a people person, like to work with different people.
That's a good way to kind of phrase you like to get released, traded, moved around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a people person. I like to meet as many people as I could over those years.
1-2 to Jimenez. Up towards the first base dugout. No room.
Easy. So you're watching Chris Sale there, and he is going after that pop-up aggressively. And that's one where you're watching, saying, no, 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 don't try to go over a rail. Don't try to make a great play. He's like, I think I can get this. Look at, no, easy. Remember what happened, of course, when he dove for that ball, made that great play, but unfortunately ended up fracturing his rib. You can't tell a horse to slow down. It is what it is when the game is going on, but please don't run into the rail.
I said easy, big fella.
That's right.
1-2. Up the middle, Michael coming on. He'll play it on a hop. So Leo Jimenez, one of the few Marlins who entered tonight having seen Chris Sale. So a couple of line drives.
Fastball here, good velo, 97, good location, inner third and down. That's a little tip of the cap there to Jimenez. Nice piece of hitting.
And the only other Marlin that had seen Chris Sale entering tonight, Christopher Morel. Climbs in here.
Changed up the eye black a little bit, huh? You always used to go with the cat whiskers even earlier this series.
Ground ball hit sharply. Dubon fires to first, and Olsen with the scoop. Another 0 for Chris Sale.
Pajamas.
It's time for our Whataburger, What a Play, and how about Austin Riley? Deepest part of the yard, a 3-run homer. Give the Braves the lead. And for Riley, that's his 5th homer this month. Good to see him beginning to heat up. Of course, go back 21, 22, and 23, 30 homers every year, 90-plus RBI, and then those couple of seasons just sort of battled injuries. Seven, 8, 9 due up for Atlanta.
Wiley, talking about Austin Riley and how he's been much better in the month of May. There are a couple things that he's been working on. We know with the front shoulder dipping a little bit, it causes either that steep swing path or the drop in the back shoulder. And when you are trying to work on a mechanical adjustment, sometimes the approach changes. So a lot of times you look at an approach with him, he's swinging at all kinds of pitches, trying to cover all parts of the plate. And a lot of that is because he's thinking too much about the mechanical adjustment as well. So once he gets comfortable with the mechanical adjustment, then all of a sudden that approach gets a little bit better as well.
Yeah, I was wondering too, right? You're trying to do something. We talk about it certainly on the pitching side. Whatever you may be working on mechanically, it's kind of like once you get in between the lines, you get on the mound. I would think the same for a hitter. You get in the box, you almost have to forget about it. Not to say you don't have your cues that put you in a good spot, but the brain only has so much room in it, Wiley. And once you get out there, I think for me, you try to clear as much as possible. Nice play there by John Smoltz. Oh, was that not really him wearing his uniform down there? Oh, it was not Smoltzy. My bad. You want to make sure you just kind of, I think, going out there and competing and not thinking about that stuff too much. That's what BP and cage work is for.
Ooh, Austin Riley's going to challenge here.
He isn't challenged very often. I think it's only twice so far this year for Austin Riley.
This is close.
Oh, my.
call is confirmed. Atlanta has 1 challenge remaining.
So this is what is new, right? It's that the small percentage of the baseball that actually catches the zone. That you think about a ball in the strike zone. I think in our minds we're thinking the whole ball. And now that we have ABS, it's like, no, it's actually any part of the ball, even the slightest part, and it's a strike.
So now Mike Yastrzemski takes a called strike. Greeny, how often over the course of a season would you be fiddling with a mechanical adjustment?
Let's get an ice cream.
0-2 on yes. So Greeny, over the course of the season, how many times did you make a mechanical adjustment?
Sorry about that, Wiley. I was too busy talking to Gretchen about the ABS stuff. Anyway, I apologize for that. I made too many adjustments. I think that's where you can go wrong at times because you're thinking way too much. And like CJ said, you want to go out there and compete.
As Yaz scoops this one into left.
And I talked to Mauricio Dubon about that too, and he said once he gets in the box, all he wants to do is compete. It's very hard to do. The best of the best are able to do that and forget about what they're working on in the cages in BP, but it's a very challenging thing, especially when you're facing such good pitching now. You can't cover every part of the play. You can't cover every pitch, so you've got to find a way to let that mechanical stuff slide by and be off to the side when you get out on the field and compete.
And Greeny, remember this. You have private conversations during your private time. We're amongst friends now, so we all talk together, just hang out talking to Gretchen in the middle of the game. Must be nice.
She told me my mic was cut off.
Oh, okay. We were going to get to the bottom. We never got the story on Greeny's final career home run in this ballpark. Can we get some details on that?
It was probably first pitch. I'm sure I swung it every first pitch. But if you go back and look at it, look at left field and go over the seats, and it bounced over the seats.
Oh, sorry about it. Oh, we do have it.
April 2013. Nick Green.
Nice uni.
God, he looks good, the goatee. What do you say, Green?
What? I'm sorry, what?
I had pop at one point.
What?
St. Leon shoots one high. Shallow right. Edwards puts it away. Where did that home run land? Nick Green.
Check that bat.
Chris Sale making his first start in Miami in a couple of years, and so far he has looked sharp. The lefty with 5 strikeouts, 1 run allowed, looking for his first career win over the Marlins.
He's been solid tonight. That first inning, there was a little bit of hard contact, and he looked like he was irritated by it, and it's kind of how Chris Sale competes, and since then, he's turned it on against these Marlins hitters.
He'll begin the 5th by facing Liam Hicks. It's time for our Home Depot working on a win feature, and hear it all the time, CJ. If you're going to get an ace, you got to get him early. The Marlins got him a little bit, 2 hits in a run, but since then, Chris Sale has shut it down.
A couple hits, 5 punch outs here, and he's got the lone lefty in the lineup tonight in Hicks, who he punched out in his first at bat. Good numbers, though. You see him there across the bottom of what Liam Hicks has done so far this season with that .291 batting average.
3 for 6 so far in the series. Marlins catcher's been one of their best hitters. One, 2. Speaking of catchers who can hit, got some good news on Drake Baldwin after the game last night. Grade 1 for that oblique strain, which Walt Weiss said again, there's no real timetable on that, but certainly good news.
Yeah, again, the best version, I guess, of any news you were going to get. That's the good stuff today with that grade 1.
And Hicks loops one out to Olsen.
Seem mild. Again, you got to be careful about putting that timeline on guys, because then something happens or you need a little bit more time, people start to panic and worry. But good to hear. I mean, the fact that he had taken a swing, was still in there, right? I mean, that's probably pretty important. It sounds like it was the sixth inning at bat, I believe, that he had, where he'd had the line out, and there was some talk about he might have felt something then. Still smoked that ball, which I think was also encouraging.
First pitch strike here on Sanoha. Yeah, when Walt was asked about it on Tuesday before the game, mentioned that Drake felt like maybe there might have been something in a previous at bat, but seemed like it was okay. And like you said, with that last swing, as Mauricio Dubon is there to snag that one. Didn't appear that anything was wrong, and you go back and look at Drake after that swing in the immediate aftermath. There wasn't a whole lot of signs that he was hurt.
Nope. Which again is a good thing, because if it was significant, I think you would have saw a reaction. The difference too for Drake Baldwin, thinking about where he was through his first, what is this, game number 50, so his first 48 last year he had played in, I believe it was 21 or 22 started, where this year he has started in every single game.
First pitch swinging Edwards. Dubon on the money. Chris Sale, 1, 2, 3 in the fifth. Ronald Acuna, he's got the sauce. Our Who's Got the Sauce, presented by Zaxby's. And Ronald, since the start of the 23 season, among the top 5 hitters in baseball in OPS, CJ.
That's some great company for Ronald Acuna Jr. Great to have him back now in the lineup in the outfield.
First pitch swinging, he hammers one up the middle. And Ronald's got his first hit tonight.
And on base. What a difference it makes when you have Ronald hitting at the very top of the order. It was a changeup. That's what it said it was.
So Acuna aboard to begin the 6th. And Michael Harris offers at the first pitch. Little squirrely roller through the left side. Acuna digs. He's headed to third. Throw coming in from Hernandez. He slides and he's safe. And Michael moves up to second.
What a slide from Ronald Acuna Jr. This was aggressive base running, and it looked like the throw had beaten him. First, take a look at the base hit here against the 4-seam fastball for Michael. Didn't square it up. It didn't matter. He gets himself that base hit into left field. But watch this slide. This is incredible. The swim move, get that left hand in there and hold the bag. Great stuff there from Ronald Acuna Jr. Oh.
Take a look at Jimenez here.
He got kicked in the head, it looked like, from Ronald, maybe. Did you see Corbin Carroll yesterday?
I did.
There was a ball thrown in a cutoff play. He was going for a triple, and the throw hit him square in the noggin. That one got him pretty good over there for Jimenez, too. That's great base running all the way around. Michael with a really good read to get the second. Ronald, of course, with the great slide.
And so now the Braves are set up here. One more look. Olay.
Did he get some helmet there? No. Yeah, it's that knee looked like.
A little delay out there in right field. Bullpen door was open there for the Braves. I'm not sure if Sanoha had to drop something off in there or what. But
went to go hang out with some of the Braves. Thought maybe there was going to be a longer delay than there was.
Perhaps.
Time
so
to get back to work.
First pitch strike. So Marlins have the infield all the way in, already trailing by 2 with Chris Sale on the mound. And Ole rakes one into right field. Acuna can coast home. Harris will stop at third. Another RBI for Matt Olson.
And another really hard hit ball. Remember that line out that he had in the first inning, or the ground ball, I should say, that he hit at 110. This one at 111. And jumping all over this curveball, right? Curveballs in the zone with runners in scoring position. It is a dangerous proposition when you're facing good hitters like Matt Olson.
So 3 straight hits and nobody yet throwing in the Marlins bullpen, but that's about to change. Ozzie Albies now. Entering this inning, Junk had retired 11 in a row. And beat Ozzie that time with the elevated fastball. Tyler Phillips loosening. And Ozzie pokes this one, and that'll plop down for a base hit. Harris will score. Olson to third, and it's 5-1 Braves.
Two-seam fastball stays on it very nicely. The ball's on the corner. It's got some run. But Ozzie on it. Nice little base hit here to left center. And how about 4 straight singles to start this inning?
Feels like the Braves are giving the Marlins a little taste of their own medicine. And here comes Daniel Moscas, pitching coach for the Marlins in his second season. And the pitch count for Junk at 74. Threw 100 pitches his last time out, so there's plenty more in the tank, but he's got to start trying to miss some barrels here. So third time through for the Braves. They are 4 for 4 off of Junk. And now Dom Smith. Big swing from Dom.
Change up behind in the count. You see kind of the head nod there because we've seen a few more fastballs. The Braves have gotten to a few more fastballs in this inning. I think Dom wondering, was that trend going to continue when he got started early, and instead it was a changeup.
That time the sweeper. Dom Smith already over 100 plate appearances this season, CJ, and batting average over 300. Well over 300, 323. And still nobody out here in this 6th inning. Corners about even with the bags for Miami. You've got the middle infield about halfway in. Already 2 runs home in this inning.
So you feel like you're getting toward the end, right? You're Jansen Junk, and all of a sudden now the Braves getting to you again here in the 6th inning after you'd caught that groove for a little bit. And then you get an at-bat like this where some tough foul balls. After you fall behind 1-0, 3 straight now here, foul balls from Dom Smith, and kind of trying to grind through when he's making it tough.
Lays off the slider in the dirt. We mentioned it, but Miami has just struggled to get quality starting pitching here recently. And Junk has worked through 5. but giving up 5. And Dom Smith just foul.
Change up again here, and nearly caught also over at first base. Got maybe about a foot there that ball was fouled by.
Feels kind of like a push, right? I mean, if Norby catches that ball, it's probably a double play.
Yeah.
If it lands fair, it's 1, maybe even 2 runs. But instead, foul ball. We'll do it again. How about this at bat from Dom Smith? His next pitch will be number 9. Good take, sweeper over the plate, but low. So 3-2, still nobody out in the inning. Where do you think Junk goes here?
You know, it's interesting, right? I mean, technically you don't really have an open base, but you kind of do. Do you want to give in? You make a mistake, and Dom Smith's going to make you pay. Maybe that changeup.
Lifted to right. Long run for Sanoha and foul ground. And that'll land in the seats.
So I mentioned the changeup being his best swing and miss pitch, and that's where he went. Now, he's had his issues against left-handed pitching. That has been part of it. Dom is making life very difficult right now, though, for Jansen Junk and for Lee Nix. Now, remember, the pitches come from the dugout here. And so whether or not there's been much flexibility as far as what he is allowed to do, I don't know. But the Marlins call all of their pitchers pitches. Now you have the option to shake if you want to.
The 11th pitch of the encounter. Instead, a pickoff to check on Ozzie. First 4 hitters in this inning, CJ, went by in a blink. Acuna, Harris, Olsen, and Ozzie saw a total of 8 pitches. This is number 11 to Dom Smith. And he'll see 12.
That's unbelievable. I mean, he was down 1-2. These are the ones, listen, you want to win every plate appearance, you can't. But these are the ones you want the most. That goes both ways.
Another 3-2 pitch. And Smith clubs it deep to right. That ball's got a little bit of kick, and it's gone! Dom Smith! A 3-run shot to right center. And he wins the battle on the 12th pitch.
This at-bat may be studied for years in our game because that was incredibly impressive from Dom Smith. Again, he gets down in the count 1-2. You got a guy that's got a full arsenal, lots of different ways that he could go, and eventually Dom Smith got himself a curveball that he could handle. He drills it out to right center field. A 3-run shot to put this game out of reach for the Marlins, and there is Dom Smith doing it again for the Atlanta Braves.
A Bronco Sport SUV. Employee pricing. You pay what we pay. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Time for our All-State Good Hands replay. Dom Smith wins the war. 12 pitches. Junk hung it just enough. And Dom Smith pulverizes it to right.
It's good hands, right? That's what we call it, our good hands. He fouled off all of those tough pitches throughout. Coming into tonight, the most pitches a Brave had seen in an at-bat that ended in a home run were 7. So Dom Smith blows that away with his 12-pitch at-bat. Not just a home run, but kind of a dagger here for the Miami Marlins.
And so Tyler Phillips The first pitch from Dubon fouled out of play.
So the other thing you get here now is 5 straight hits in this inning. The most consecutive hits the Braves have had in an inning this year have been 4, so make it 5 now. A new number for them, and hitters 1 through 5 getting it done.
Was that the longest plate appearance of the season by pitch type or by pitch count?
That I don't know. I have to go look.
Well, I know this. It is just the second plate appearance in all of Major League Baseball this year to last at least 12 pitches and end in a home run. Cal Raleigh had the other. And Dubon serves this one on one hop out to Edwards. And there is the first out of the 6th. When Casey has taken over in right and Javier Sanoja has moved to third.
So I'll assume that has to do with Jimenez coming out of the game right after getting checked on. When Ronald Acuna Jr. went first to third, there was a little bit of contact, didn't quite look right, and so they get him out of the game.
The other 3-run homer tonight from Austin Riley. So the Marlins going to Tyler Phillips here, and you saw his numbers. He's been pretty good.
In 27 innings, just 1 home run allowed. He's got a good 2-seam fastball. It sits at 96.
Test for Sanoja. And he passes it. Braves have seen Phillips before. He actually made his debut against Atlanta a couple of years ago. He was with the Phillies. So Mike Yastrzemski, 8th man to bat in the inning. Monday night, it was Miami's big crooked numbers in the 4th and the 5th, putting up 11 runs, put that game away, and Braves opened it up here with 5 in the 6th. And how about this offense, CJ? You get shut out for just the 3rd time on Monday night, and you come back with 8 runs yesterday and at least 8 tonight.
Can't hold this offense down. I mean, it's just too good. It's too deep, even without Drake Baldwin and Sean Murphy here.
Tough play for Norby, the backhand. Phillips covers and in time. But the Braves with a 5 spot in the 6th.
Yeah, what a fun one this one, too. The way that it started, base hit from Ronald, base hit from Michael, Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, and then the big blow from Dom Smith.
Welcome into the Rooms to Go Lounge. I'm Lauren Saad. That's Peter Moylan. And Pete, we'll talk about the offense later, but what do you think of Chris Sale in this one?
Unbelievable job getting out of that first with just 1 run, and now it's time to go more. The pitch count's under control.
We'll send you guys back out to Miami. Let's see what Nick Green's up to.
Well, a lot's talked about this Braves offense, and it should be, but I want to talk about the defense a little bit. They've been so good defensively in general, infield and outfield, but I want to focus on Ozzie Albies and how much he's improved over the last year at second base. You look at his numbers from last year, the defensive metrics didn't like it, and they went into the offseason and said, Ozzie, we want you to improve your first step. I talked to Tony Mansolino about that, and he was very receptive to it. The defensive metrics have been great for Ozzie this year, but it's been all about that first step. Can you make a quick first step, and can you make that first step in the correct direction? Ozzie's been fantastic.
It's a great point, man, and it's important, right, that guys are going to be on board with it. If they've been around for a little while, they get set in their ways, right? You have got to be open to the ideas of how can I improve. And we've seen it. We've noticed it. We've noticed the range has been better. Looks like he's getting to more balls. And listening to Nick Green kind of lay that out, that clearly it has everything to do with that first step. Put yourself in a good position to cover as much ground as you possibly can. Greeny has covered a ton of ground here at Lone Depot Park. I mean, he's probably, what, 320 feet from home plate? Maybe a little more.
Yeah, Greeny, I mean, you too good for the dugout? What's wrong, man?
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I was told to come out here, but I'm in the wrong spot, I think.
No, I think you're in the right spot.
How far away does home plate look? That was your last home run. That's where it landed.
Well, I think it landed behind me. And
oh, yeah?
Gretchen,
give yourself a couple more rows, big
Gretchen
fella.
claims that it did not, so
Here
she
we
told
go.
me to sit
so
here.
we're looking at it right now. So hang tight a little bit. So that guy jumps up. I think there should be at least 3 rows behind you. Are there still 3 rows behind you?
There are, yes.
You're in the exact spot you need to be. Perfect.
No.
If anything, you might have to come down one. Can you ask that young lady to move in front of you?
Hey, by the way, it's a long, long way out here.
Yeah,
it
taste
feels
yourself,
so
buddy.
far.
Yeah, it's really far. You crushed it.
Can't imagine being further from home plate.
Hey, tell that other girl in front of you why you're sitting there. Ask her if she remembers the home run that Nick Green hit here.
She does not care at all.
That's awesome. And you'd be okay if we cut open the barrel that bad to be clean?
It would definitely be clean.
Look at you. Such
it
a
would
good
definitely
guy.
be clean. The question is, I forgot my badge. Can I get back down to the well?
Hey.
All right, Green, you got to use your broadcasting skills. Smooth talker.
It's like somebody's taking an Uber home tonight.
Let's see if you got.
We saw a 12-pitch at bat there from Dom Smith. I know Lopez. He's seen 7 here from Chris Sale. Sale threw all of 8 pitches in the 5th inning as a whole. And he's been good against lefties. I'd say 500 will play. And Weekly rolled out to Dupont. And he gets Lopez. Nice play. That wasn't easy. Kind of off the end of the bat.
And he did it with the changeup, right? Picking his spots on when he wants to use that pitch here tonight against the Marlins.
So Sale still just at 75 pitches. You know, one of the challenges for Chris these last couple of starts, he's pitched well, just hasn't gotten a whole lot of run support. His last 2 starts against the Dodgers and Cubs, he got a total of 1 run combined. The Braves have fixed that tonight. And if Chris does pick up a win tonight, the only other teams he does not have a win against in his career, the St. Louis Cardinals and the Atlanta Braves.
Let's keep that second one like that
for
the rest of Chris Sale's tenure here in Major League Baseball. And you got the impression, right, what they did with the contract, get him done for next year, option for 2028, that Chris Sale's been pretty honest about it. He'd like to have a Brave uniform on for the rest of his days as a big league pitcher. That's good news for us.
2-1 to Hernandez. Shoot him up.
So ever since he hit that fastball pretty hard for the sacrifice line out, the 1 run that the Marlins have tonight, been pretty steady with the sliders the rest of the way from Chris Sale to Hernandez, and he has now struck him out in his last 2 at-bats.
I'm sure Hernandez is happy to have the RBI, but it almost felt like he drew a little too much attention to himself. As Norby takes a called strike. Ooh. Chris Sale a little angry, a little hair on that fastball.
I don't think we're near the end. A lot of times we will talk about, right, him starting to kind of unload and get a sense of that. But 82 pitches right now. You know Chris Sale wants to get through this one and give Walt Weiss another one, right? Take as much pressure off the bullpen as you possibly can.
0-2 to Norby. Lifted to left, Yaz charging, slowing, and securing. Chris Sale, another perfect inning. It's now time for our Braves on a Mission feature, presented by Navy Federal Credit Union. Last 60 games, the Braves have owned Miami.
Fun to watch, fun to look at. We talked about this one in our open, and we're hoping now to see 42 in 19 after this one is all said and done. But it has been some serious domination.
Speaking of domination, Dom Smith rounds out. Beg your pardon, that's Sandy Leon. Excuse me, number 9. I saw 8 down there. I felt confident. But Sandy Leon grounds out.
Sounds like a little overconfident there, Wiley.
Yeah, I think so. One pitch, one out. Now top of the order coming up, Ronald Acuna Jr. And then Tyler Phillips going to stick around here, trying to chew up some innings out of the bullpen. It's been nice seeing Ronald back on the field these last couple of days. You know, Walt Weiss was asked about it before the game. Basically described him as like watching a kid run around at recess.
He is a kid, right? He loves the game like a kid. And it's why he doesn't love when he is hurt or can't be out there. This is Ronald's true passion. He loves having the uniform on, loves being on the field, loves playing baseball. We got a handful of those guys. I mean, listen, everyone loves it. Everyone loves being here. We've listened to Walt talk about Mike Yastrzemski, how much he loves playing, how much he wants to win. Mauricio Dubon is a gym rat, or baseball's version of a gym rat, which is a compliment. They've done a really nice job. We say it time and time again, but I don't think it can be overstated. The people that you bring into your clubhouse and what it means. The way that these guys have been talking about Martin Perez, the way they talk about Sandy Leon back there, whether it's a big role or a small role on the team, they make sure they have good people here in Atlanta.
So Ronald down on the splitter. 2 away here in the top of the 7th. And coming up, the stretch presented by Georgia Natural Gas. Peter and Laura will be talking about the Braves offense, which since being shut out, they have outscored Miami 16-5. And Michael sends that one just over the outstretched glove of Javier Sanoja. And it's a multi-hit night for Michael.
Michael batting in the 2-hole has worked out pretty well here this evening as he goes the other way. It sounded like he may have broken his bat. You could see a little kind of piece of wood come off the end as he lines that one into left field.
Matt Olson with that RBI single is now tied for the major league lead with 42 RBI. One of the men he's tied with is crouched behind the plate. You talk about the personalities who you bring in the clubhouse. You know, Alex Anthopoulos has talked a lot about that over his time here in Atlanta, something maybe he didn't appreciate as much early on in his career, but he makes it a priority. And I think along with the talent, you look at those 6 division titles, you'd credit some of that to the chemistry.
Well, I think part of it too is this one's going to get away. Michael goes down to second base. Is that everyone may say that they want to have a good clubhouse, but then there's sometimes that draw of going after a player that maybe doesn't have the greatest reputation. You feel like you can tolerate it, and then as soon as you deal with something that goes wrong, which no doubt over the career of Alex Anthopoulos he has had to do that, it changes your mind pretty quickly.
1-2 to Matt Olson. Through the back door. No challenge coming. And with that, we will send it back to Atlanta for the stretch.
Welcome to the stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Service, savings, sustainability. It's that simple.
Welcome into the stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. I'm Lauren Saad. That's Peter Moylan. And Pete, the offense so far tonight, 8 runs. For our friends that are maybe just now tuning in, can you just give us a recap of what's happened this game?
Absolutely. It's been 2 great days by the offense so far, and I'll take you to the second inning of tonight's game where it all got started. It was a couple of singles by Dubon and Albies, and then there was a sweeper that didn't do much at all. I call that a cement mixer. It just spins in place, almost like it's on a tee for Austin Riley. His slugger started to show up again. He's starting to hit the ball as hard as anybody. Matt Olson, I think like everybody singled from the top of the order. Then Matt Olson hits another ball hard, about 109 miles an hour on that one. That's some good going there, Lauren. And then Ozzie Albies puts together a great at-bat. He does whatever he needs to do to get on base in front of Dom Smith, who puts together one of the best at-bats that we've seen. Well, he's had a few, obviously, this year, but one of the best at-bats we've seen, especially from him, but maybe from anybody this year. 12 pitches, fouled off so many fastballs that were really tough pitches, and then eventually gets a hold of a breaking ball, gets out in front, hits a 1-iron with a little bit of backspin out to right center field, and we're talking about a 5-run inning for the Bravos, and that's 8 runs total. Let's go.
I mean, Pete, that was so impressive. That was a lot you had to recap there.
Thank you very much. It's almost like it's my job.
Almost like it. Well, Chris Sale's looking for his first career win against the Marlins, so let's hopefully have the Braves close this one out. We're going to get you right back to Braves baseball after a quick message from our friends at Georgia Natural Gas.
When it comes to natural gas in Georgia, G&G leads the league. We keep it simple with great rates that save you money. We even make it easy to reduce your carbon footprint with greener life. Sign up in minutes at gng.com. It's that simple.
Bottom of the 7th, Braves lead by 7. And Chris Sale still working. Pitch count at just 83. He has struck out 6 tonight. Gave up back-to-back base hits to begin the ball game, then a sac fly, and since then, he's hardly been touched.
Time now to check our Valvoline quick change stats and taking a look at the best opponent's batting average against right-handed hitters in a season since 1974. This is for your lefties. Look at Chris Sale coming into this game tonight at a 169 batting average. Now, it'll be a challenge to hold that the entire year. He already has the 3rd best coming into the season, and you see what he did with the Red Sox back in 2018. He dominates the righties, but you were talking about a pretty large sample size of 50-plus seasons where Chris Sale has been one of the best in baseball as he strikes out another righty, so make it 4 for 20 tonight for the right-handed hitters, and you can go ahead and stack those righties all day long against Chris Sale. It doesn't give you an advantage. He's been one of the best in baseball at it.
And he's bullied Estuary Ruiz in particular tonight. He is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. And now a left-handed hitter, Owen Casey. Places Jimenez in the lineup. Takes inside for Owen Casey. It has been a rough go against Atlanta pitching so far this year, CJ. He is just 2 for 16 against the Braves with 10 strikeouts.
1 for 8, 125. How's that math? Boom. You know 1/8.
Nailed. By the way, that was the 7th strikeout of the night for Sale. Gets him to 2,650. You know who's next on the list?
Oh, crud. I remember we looked at this list enough times.
We talked about him before the game, before we went on air.
We talked about this guy before the game. You and I did in a casual conversation?
Tommy Hutton was there too.
Gosh, my memory is really brutal. Gosh darn it, what were we talking about with him? Don't tell me yet. We were talking to Tommy before the game. It wasn't a long conversation. Gosh, this is embarrassing. Verlander? No. No, oh gosh, I don't remember. I don't want any hints. I just want to be told.
Okay. Got Casey on the way back up. Both knees.
All right, Wiley, lay it on me. It's enough.
David Cone.
That's right, because I was talking about David Cone's Hall of Fame case and how, as we were mentioning Chris Sale and thinking about some others, when they come up here 5 years after they retire, how you're going to look back at David Cone's career and really wonder how he did not make it past the first vote. Got to have 5% to stay on. He didn't get it. I think it's going to be problematic for the Hall of Fame going forward.
Thought going back and looked at that ballot that Cone was on, you think that was likely a crowded ballot issue, or there's some real questions when he became eligible?
Wiley, I love that you think I know who was on the ballot that year that he was off.
Oh, and Casey
2009, Ricky Henderson, Jim Rice in his 15th year got on. There was a lot of Hall of Famers that eventually got there, as you're going to see that fastball painted on the outside corner. That's a fair part of the conversation. I mean, all those guys deserve votes. It was Andre Dawson who eventually got in, Burt Blyleven, Lee Smith, Jack Morris, Tim Raines, Alan Trammell, Dave Parker, Harold Baines. None of them got in that year, but they all had eventually become Hall of Famers. And so that must have been the 10, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. It's a good point, Wiley.
Well, that kind of is the purpose of the Veterans Committee, right? Give guys a second look.
Yeah, and listen, I think it's fair if you look at all those names that I just mentioned that they got votes before David Cone did. And you've heard writers talk about in the past how they never liked that minimum of 10 is the most that you can vote on. There are years where you might only vote on 2, right? It's just a matter of kind of when you're on the ballot. So it's a really fair point and unfortunate for David Cone.
And you don't get that minimum number of votes, then you fall off in that first year.
Maybe that's the part of the rule that has to change.
One hop, Riley. Across, Chris Sale set down 10 in a row.
For life.
Braves up 8-1 as we head into the top of the 8th inning. It looks like Chris Sale's day is done. Fantastic start again for him. He just continues to do good work going deep into ball games and possibly going to get his first win against Miami in his career. There are a couple of things today that I loved what I saw from Chris Sale. It's about making adjustments in game. Early on in this ball game, a lot of contact, not a lot of swing and miss. Use a fastball, change up a little bit more. Then that second time through the order, the slider came into play in a big way. And when you think about the pitch mix, he tends to lean on the slider at times, but when he gets in trouble and he needs to get out, he goes to the slider. The first 2 innings, 33% slider. Innings 3, 4, and 5, well over 50%. Chris Sale adjusts in game, knows how to pitch, knows how to get W's.
He certainly does, and there it is, the gear, right? The emotional part of it as well that we see from him, which is really fun to watch, right? When he is going right, he wants to dig a little bit deeper, starts dotting up the fastball with a little bit more velocity, picking his spots, or maybe it is that nasty slider that Greeny is talking about. I'm just trying to figure out, was Ozzie trying to go up to like Nick Green territory with that swing? He was trying to pull the ball in the air to left field with some authority. Or I guess going the opposite way. Nick Green territory.
If I know Ozzie, I think he had his sights set beyond Nick Green territory. By the way, Chris Sale, 7 innings, 1 run tonight. And again, we're expecting him to be done for the night. That is the 9th time this year, CJ, he has gone at least 6 innings and allowed 2 earned runs or fewer. Nobody in baseball has more than 7. He's got 9.
That's been pretty incredible. I mean, essentially every time that he has gone 6 innings, he has given you a quality start. He only had the 1 hiccup against the Angels when we were there earlier in the season. That was that 3rd start of the year. Other than that, it's been 6 or 7. 1 time he let up 3 runs. 2 of those were earned. Every other time, 1 or less.
Dom Smith hits it deep to right center. Casey racing back. And the ball's out of the glove of Ruiz, and Dom Smith's rounding second. And Dom Smith ends up at 3rd base. And now the ball's thrown away, and he's dashing home. And Dom Smith slides in safely. Oh, the Dominator, and he is dead tired. 9-1 Braves.
Little league home run and a big league smile there from Dom Smith. You get a tomahawk anyway. That's going to go down as a triple and an error, and they're also going to go out and check on Owen Casey in right field because there was a collision between him and Ruiz, and they're talking about it right now. It's the first triple for Dom Smith since 2023. Get a look at this swing here against the sweeper. He's having himself a night. That was a significant collision out there for those two men, and then the throw in. And you see even Ruiz is kind of hopping away. Not sure how the communication was, but you see the right elbow of Ruiz catching the back of the head of Owen Casey.
You see Chris Sale watching. He was everybody. All right, let's see Dom Smith.
He busted it out of the box. He knew he didn't get it. It was just a matter of whether or not it was going to get down.
All right, when's the moment where he realizes he's got to go home here?
Well, he's pulling up, and then, of course, you pick up your third base coach and does a really nice job, Tommy Watkins, letting him know that the throw had gotten away. Now, Ruiz was the one that threw the ball in. Let's take a look at where it ended up and what the problem was. Yeah, it was just a bad job as far as the hop went there from Edwards. Like, it's turf. You should be able to see it pretty well and play. Now, was he distracted by the collision? Not sure, but that's an error that probably should not be happening.
Let's take one more look. And he finishes in the starfish position.
Tommy almost beat him home. We were side by side down the line.
Ronald doing what he can, trying to cool off Dom Smith.
So the error is going to go to Ruiz because the ball got away. But again, that probably, I think it was Edwards, right, who had the opportunity to catch that throw, which he did not.
So Owen Casey's going to stay in the game. Braves now with an 8-run lead, and Mauricio Dubon. We got a sprint speed yet on the Dom Smith triple?
I mean, it's always available, Wiley. I can find it for you. Now, at what point do you think he was going full speed, right? So that's where he's going to get dinged a little bit. Like, it wasn't out of the box. This ball's going to be down. I got to be thinking 3.
Bounced out to second. And Edwards gets Dubon by half a step. I feel confident he was going as fast as he could from third to home. I don't know if that would be.
You want third to home?
Well, I don't know if that would be his top speed.
Well, at that point, he's got about a quarter tank of gas left. So they got him up to 25.5 feet per second.
I know 30 feet per second is elite.
So they have everything in here but what we're looking for. They have home to first, home to second, home to third, home to home, first to second, second to third. We want third to home. That's what we were looking for.
I wonder if it was scored a homer. Would we've gotten that data? Did they cut it off because they thought it was a triple?
I mean, they still got you home to.
Oh, home to home. You're right. Okay.
18.08 seconds.
It's safe to say that trot was a little more tiresome than the one Dom had in the 6th. Austin Riley with a home run tonight gave the Braves a 3-1 lead. 9 unanswered for Atlanta tonight. And Riley draws a walk. And as Riley trots down to first, let's hear from Alpha Insurance.
No matter what life throws your way, we'll be there knocking it out of the park. Getting you back home safe and sound. That's life with Alpha Insurance.
And CJ, that is the first walk for either side tonight.
Wow. It's impressive. Obviously, Chris Sale was dealing, but as far as everything Jansen Junk was going through, it felt like there would have been a walk or two. Saw Eli White walking there in the background in the dugout. Of course, he is now off the IL after dealing with those concussion issues. I wonder if Wald will try to get him maybe a plate appearance, right? It's been a while. Kind of get him back in the swing of things. It might be a good time to do it.
Yeah, Eli, of course, made that heroic game-saving play on the final day of that 9-game, 10-day road trip out to the West Coast at Dodger Stadium. Left the game after making that catch, or shortly after making that catch. As Yaz rolls one out to second, Edwards ends the 8th inning. But Dobb Smith got more than he bargained for on this one. Deep to right center, a collision, and a starfish at home plate. All smiles in the Braves dugout, up by 8. Braves Country Fest presented by Truist is less than 1 month away. Come see country superstars Cody Johnson, Ella Langley, Ernest, and Mackenzie Carpenter, along with several up-and-coming acts. Grab your tickets now before they're gone. Saturday, June 13th. And now a new Brave. Victor Medeiros making his Braves debut and gets Hicks to hit the first pitch in the air to left. And Yaz makes the play.
So for Medeiros, what he has used in the minor leagues this year, led with the cutter. As you can see what his numbers were at AAA. Sinker, two-seam fastball with some pretty good velocity, averaging 96. The four-seamer at 97. There was a slider. There was a sweeper. And there was both a split and a change that he barely threw, just 7 combined pitches total, which makes me think maybe they were the same pitch. But it really is about the cutter, the two-seamer, the four-seamer, and then some sliders and some sweepers.
Braves traded for him on April 3rd after being DFA'd by the Angels. He made about a dozen appearances for the Angels over the last 3 seasons. But worked only about 25 innings. And now coming on for Chris Sale, who ended his outing by retiring the final 10 he faced. And 21 of the last 23.
So interesting guy, right? Born in Cuba, but raised here. Went to high school in Miami. Went to University of Miami. And then what, eventually ended up at Oklahoma State, is that right?
Yep, 1 year at Miami and 1 year at Oklahoma State. Where he was teammates with Nolan McLean, and McLean was a reliever, but it was Medeiros who was in the rotation. And moved from Cuba to Miami in 2008 at the age of 7. His father moved to the States when he was just 2 months old. And then he backs up Sonoha. But he says he never picked up a baseball until he moved to Miami. And that's going to be ball 4. Thought for a moment Leo might ask for an appeal. So 1-out walk in time for a quick message from Zaxby's.
Zaxby's giant chicken finger quesadillas. Get them while you can. Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's.
Xavier Edwards. So far for Miami tonight is 1 for 3. He's had a big series. He's homered twice and driven in 3 runs. I was reading about Medeiros, CJ. He When he was in LA, he would cut his teammates' hair. Had some barber skills, but really felt like it was a way to kind of build relationships quickly inside the clubhouse.
Well, now you're in the big leagues and you have a barber whenever you need one. But yeah, not a bad idea.
Now, do you think he cut his own hair?
I don't think you can do that, can you? That's.
Well, I think you can.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Not recommended. I mentioned going to high school here, Westminster High School in Miami. Some pretty good big leaguers that have come out of there, including Alex Rodriguez, Sal Stewart, MJ Melendez, JP Arancibia, Doug McCavich.
One hop. Dubon will take it himself for one, to Olsen for two, and that'll put a bow on the 8th. We go to the 9th. Braves in control. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Comcast Business. All in connection and protection your small business can rely on. No one does business like Comcast Business. By Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. And by Alpha Insurance, your winning lineup for auto, home, life, and health. Look there, the design district here in Miami. Braves have their eyes on a 9-1 win tonight, trying to take the first or two of the first 3 games of this series. And Javier Sanoja is on to pitch. He's been in right field, third base, and now on the mound. This is his first pitching appearance of the season, CJ, but they used him 8 times on the mound last year.
Which is pretty incredible. It's the second most since 2000 I'm looking at. Hanser Alberto actually used to throw a pretty good amount for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He threw 10 times in a game back in 2022. With a little bit more success. Alberto that year had a 4.09 ERA in his 10 games and 11 innings. That ERA right there, 16.39. Oh, drop down. Don't do it to Sandy. Don't.
Casey on the track. This time he's got plenty of room. And Sandy Leon retired to begin the 9th.
So he gave up 4 home runs that year. Which is what he's obviously given up in his career. Trying to check here. I got 2 position players giving up more. Tyler White gave up 6 homers in his career in 6 games. Luke Maile also gave up 6.
Eli White off the bench and down the left field line. One hop off the wall. And Eli White will have a 1-out double. Talk about easing your way back into it, CJ. How about a 9th inning AB against a position player?
Whatever it takes, they all count the same. And this is Eli turning on 66 miles an hour with a little bit of spin to it. Just good to see him back on the field. It was a scary moment. You mentioned that great catch that he made. We had a couple on that road trip. Mauricio Dubon going into the wall. Eli White going into the wall full speed.
And for Eli, I mean, the only way you're getting to 66 and pulling it down the line is if you're looking for it, right?
I mean, he knows what's coming. So I think he probably was looking for something in the 60s, 70 on the high end. He did see the drop down to Sandy. He put that in there.
Can't afford to come off the fastball. 66. 2 hits so far tonight for Michael. Look out. That was a valiant effort there. Man's got the shades on. We are in Miami.
Guy's living his best life. He's fully tatted left arm. He's got unbelievable hair. He 100% is in a band.
And Harris down swinging. All right, well, CJ, he's in a band. We talking lead vocals? We talking drummer?
God,
what do you think?
God, no. That guy looks like bass to me. Or plot twist, tambourine.
My money's on cowbell. Matt Olson, first pitch swinging in the air to left center. Ruiz is there. Javier Sanoja throws up a 0. Chris Sale's 10th start of the season was a beauty. He goes 7 innings, giving up just 1 run. And CJ, he is in line for his first win against the Marlins.
It's what we talked about, right? Thinking about our forward keys here this evening. Get that first one in this ballpark and against the Marlins. And it is looking like Chris Sale will have that here tonight. The slider fastball combination, excellent tonight. Some hard contact early, first couple of hitters, and that seemed to really tick Chris Sale off, and he took over from there. So domination, great game, 7 innings, no walks, 8 strikeouts, and just that 1 earned run for Chris Sale.
And he is our Georgia Natural Gas Greener Life Impact Player. And Victor Medeiros on for a 2nd inning. We'll face Otto Lopez to begin the 9th. And CJ, anytime you enter a start, as you see Jorge Mateos come in with a sub-2 ERA and it goes down after you're done, you're doing something right.
I would have no idea what that feels like, Wiley, but I believe you. Makes some sense. You want to hear some nonsense kind of stuff that would make me want to say a curse word on television? I'm not going to do it. They gave Dom Smith an error on that ball. Straight error. You're going to do it too. Careful. Watch your mouth, Wiley. I see you getting loaded up over there.
They said that was ordinary effort?
Said this was an error. Saying that play's got to be made. You had a guy in the air. You had a collision. When you win 2 guys, and it wasn't routine.
Slapped into center, and Harris over the shoulder grab.
Let's watch it again, because it was exciting. We're glad that Owen Casey was fine. This is Dom Smith in the 8th inning. Does a really nice job, gets that breaking ball. You got 2 guys getting there at the same time. And then there was another error there. What should have been, in my opinion, triple with an error. If you're going to give an error, then you give 2 errors. But we'll see whether or not that gets changed. But
rolled out to short. No problem for Dubon. And the Marlins down to their final out. But yes, there is an appeals process. I would feel pretty good if I were Dom Smith, trying to make a case for a triple there. And I understand that the general rule of thumb is if it hits an outfielder's glove, especially if it's in the glove.
What if 2 outfielders hit each other?
Well, that's my point. And you hit the wall.
Yeah, no. It's a hard no for me.
And Connor Norby 0 for 3 today. Marlins last hope here in the 9th.
I mean, you're giving an error to Ruiz in center field because Casey ran into him. It's not his fault.
I'm right there with you. Making that catch would have been extraordinary effort, and quite honestly, it would have been pretty impressive catch, even without Casey there. But if that's the biggest thing we have to complain about, CJ, it's been a good night.
No, I'm going to complain about being 72 degrees in there. It's too hot.
So I got bad news for you when we get back home.
I know, it's fine, but like if we have the option with the roof closed and there's air conditioning, let's go ahead and take full advantage of it.
Well, they got a suggestion box on our way out. You can drop it in there.
You know what? I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to go get a big white cup and fill it up with ice cream. That's how I'm going to get my payback.
Ooh. 2-2. Pulled in the air. No play for Riley. Braves and Marlins will do it one more time tomorrow night here at Lone Depot Park. It'll be Sandy Alcantara going for the Marlins, and Spencer Strider will make his 4th start of the season. He's coming off a couple of good ones. In the air to left, and again into the seats. Well, they're going home happy. Another 2-2 from Medeiros. Did Norby go? No appeal, full count. 3-2. Esteury Ruiz is on deck, CJ. I don't think he would say this on the record, but he's 0 for 3 tonight with 3 strikeouts. He might be all right if Norby ends the game right here. 3-2. Will Riley have a play? He will, and the Braves, with 9 unanswered runs, blow out Miami and take the 3rd game of this 4-game series. And now at 34-16, off to their best 50-game start since 2003.
Pretty unbelievable to see. Great game today. Chris Sale was awesome. The offense showed up in a big way. Dom Smith with that epic at-bat that he had that ultimately ended in a home run. All the way around, just a really, really solid game here for the Atlanta Braves tonight. They guarantee themselves, at minimum, a series sweep. And so they still have only lost 1 series this season, and they continue to be the best team in baseball. As long as that guy never pitches left-handed.
Yes. Ronald Acuna for the 2nd straight night finishes the handshake line on the mound. Braves